Okay, welcome. This first video is just talking about the things you have to install in order to do your coursework. So, let's begin. So, open your favorite browser and type in the word Java. Okay, so I'm just going to click on the guy here. Now, it says right here, here's the Java download. Unfortunately, that is not what we want. This is a little confusing. It used to be, in the old days, that you would go here and you would download what's called the Java Runtime Environment, the JRE. And the current version is version 8, update 261 as of the date of this video. But they've made some significant changes. When Java 9 came out, they decided not to release a JRE for it. And so therefore, when you wrote an application using the latest and greatest version of Java, it would just include the pieces that it needed. So there's no need for you to pre-install something. Now, the problem now is that we're at Java 14 and the JRE is still at 8. So that is way, 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 way older than what we need. And so I'm recommending that you not install the JRE at all. And in fact, you might give serious consideration to uninstalling the Java runtime if you have it on your machine. I mean, unless you have some very old Java applications that, use Java 1 through 8, well then, yeah, you're going to need this thing. But anything modern, you're not going to need this anymore. Okay, so I'm recommending that you not install a JRE at all. Okay. So where's our stuff? Well, they don't make it immediately clear how to get to this stuff. If you scroll down, there's a thing here called developers. So that's the hidden location where we need to be. So then it says, how do we get this thing? Where do I download the JDK, the Java Development Kit? Well, you click on the little doodad here that says Java Downloads. Okay. Now, there have been some significant changes here as well. There's some licensing changes, lots of changes that have happened that if you're in a commercial kind of a scenario, then you have to pay money to be able to use this stuff. Now, as a student and doing this at home, where you're just developing stuff for your own use and you're not planning on turning around and selling it or anything, then we're well within the licensing agreement for use, okay? So all we need to do is just click here down. Now the current version is 14.02 at the time of this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and start this download. And then it's reminding you, oh, by the way, we've made a lot of changes. It's like, yeah. And so I'm gonna go ahead and recommend we use the Windows installer. So, and it goes, yeah, I have reviewed and I understand what it says. By the way, this change in licensing agreement has caught the university in kind of an unusual position. They either A, have to pay money to be able to use this, or B, they can switch to an alternative. That's a bit weird. Switch to an alternative called OpenJDK, which is kind of sort of the same thing. It's just open source rather than the Oracle thing. Okay, so we've now downloaded that thing. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it to install it. And it's pretty straightforward. I mean, it just pops up and says, I'm just going to take the defaults for everything. It says, yeah, you want to put it in that location? That's fine and dandy with me. Then it says, okay, we're successfully installed. The next step would be doing all the rest of this stuff. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, so now we've installed the Java Development Kit, which is the only piece of the Java language that we need for this course. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and get our development environment. Now the book, and me, is going to be using something called NetBeans. Now there are an awful lot of development environments out there. Integrated Development Environment, IDE. There's an awful lot of them out there. And this is kind of a weird one. NetBeans used to be owned by Oracle, and now it's part of the Apache project, which again is open source. So I'm just not going to read all this stuff. I'm just going to hit download. And then I'm going to grab the long-term service LTS version. I'm going to click on that, and this is okay. Which one do you want? I'm just going to take the installer like we did the last time. It's going to ask. It's going to suggest a download site for me. And so we wait for that to happen. So a lot of people were kind of up in arms when Apache took over the NetBeans project. Personally, I don't have a dog in the fight. I think their whole complaint is a bit weird. So this is the development environment. This is what you click on to create a Java application. Okay, through the magic of video editing, I'm going to shorten this process up a bit. Okay, it's finished downloading, so I'm just going to click on the guy, and we'll do the install. And once again, I'm going to take the defaults for everything. It's not that complicated. So just so yeah, I'm just going to hit next. Yes, I'm going to accept the license agreement without actually reading it. I'll just take the defaults. It already figured out that I installed the JDK, and there's where it is. So that's fine. And then it says, yeah, you want to check for updates? Sure, what the heck. Now, just in review, the Java runtime engine we didn't install at all because we don't need that anymore. The Java development kit we needed, and we picked the latest one, which was 14 something. And then we need an integrated development environment, an application where you actually can write programs, which we using NetBeans. Although there are quite a few other options out there. And once again, through the magic of video editing, I'm going to speed this up. Okay, well it has completed. So I'm done with that. Let me just go ahead and close all this down and see what we got. Well, we've got NetBeans. All right, let's just double click on this guy and get it started. First time you run it, it takes it a bit of a time to find all its parts and do all of its things. Turning on modules, loading modules, starting modules. Okay, and so I'm probably not going to do usage statistics because we're students, and therefore our use of this is probably not exactly the same as everyone else's. So I'm going to say no. Okay, so this is what the runtime looks like. So we're going to come back to this, obviously, an awful lot during the course. But for right now, that's all we needed to be able to see. Okay, stay tuned for Chapter 1.